Partnered by Times Influence.
India's 36 million small and medium enterprises are becoming an increasingly critical component of our nation's economy. SMEs play a crucial role in the balanced economic growth of the country, with a contribution estimated at nearly 10% of India's GDP. SMEs, which span all sectors of the economy, also employ upwards of 40% of India's workforce.
You know, ICICI's DNA has been to create large corporations from small ones. You know, if you trace the history of ICICI Bank, we've been involved in creating and participating in the growth stories of many, many large companies today which are listed. Many of them are global corporations. To my mind, it's important to understand the SME very well. And I think we at ICICI Bank understand the SME, his needs, his requirements, the nuances of the segment extremely well. I think first and most important thing that is required to be able to service the SME is simply have an ability to reach out to them. You know, the physical infrastructure. I think there we are very well endowed through our network of branches, through the network of our relationship managers. And it's not just physical infrastructure to us. We are very well digitally endowed as well. So it's supplementing the infrastructure on the ground with the digital network and the digital capabilities that the bank is continuously investing in and modernizing and upgrading. We understand that an SME looks for not just money, but he looks for guidance, knowledge, mentoring, and so on and so forth. So we provide, to the best that we can, abilities in this area.
ICICI Bank has long recognized the contribution of SMEs to India's growth story. ICICI Bank partners with the SMEs to transform their dreams into reality by playing a critical role in their progress with a bouquet of SME-specific portfolio of products and services such as working capital loans, payment solutions, trade services, dealer and vendor finance, remittance and forex solutions, cash management services, investment banking, M&A advisory services, and much more. Realizing that each customer's needs are specific, ICICI Bank has segmented itself into various business clusters and has developed an expertise in each of these clusters to provide structured as well as customized products that cater to the specific need of its customers. The ICICI Bank SME Elite 50 platform is aimed at endorsing the achievements of SMEs and fueling their growth in an effort to help them ultimately transform into larger corporations. In the inaugural season of SME Elite 50, ICICI Bank partnered with CRISIL Ratings and travelled to Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities across India via 10 rigorous city jury rounds in an attempt to uncover the country's most promising SMEs across industry before ultimately arriving at the final 50.
For us, it's a comprehensive offering that enables us to help the SMEs grow. For India, SME is an important segment. They contribute quite materially to the entire employment, export, manufacturing base, and so on and so forth. They're increasingly becoming an important part of the GDP, and they're growing fast. So through an effort like what we are doing along with ET Now, our endeavor is really to reach out to them and provide that platform of recognition and provide them the platform which will give them access to this growth window.
Vying for the coveted title of the SME Elite 50, companies were put to the test. Each SME was asked to present in front of a jury of experts, which included a member of the ICICI Bank management, representation from knowledge partner and ratings agency CRISIL, and an independent business luminary from the industry. After its multi-city tour through Chennai, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Ludhiana, Bengaluru, Kolkata and Pune, the ICICI Bank SME Elite 50 platform made its way to the country's capital, New Delhi. Delhi's diversified economy boasts a booming manufacturing, real estate, tourism and retail sector, among other industry verticals.
I think the backbone of any country, it is the SMEs. Any country can become very resourceful, can become very successful only if the SMEs are successful and they are standing behind it. It's not the large corporates, it is the SMEs. Delhi-based companies are very entrepreneurial in the nature. Today also we found they are leaders in their particular business. We are still scratching the surface.
See, one thing which is there is clarity of thought. I think people who are doing better than others are very clear about what they're offering. They're very clear about their business models and where they want to be. Second is they have clear succession plans in place. They're trying to professionalize their business. They're trying to showcase how the business will, let's say, develop in the next 5 or 10 years. And finally, innovation. I think the better ones know that innovation is very important. So they're doing a very good job in trying to create new products, processes, which will help them in the long term. Most of these SMEs in India are known to be sub-assemblies or small players of other manufacturers, or they're providing very common services. So these players are thinking about getting to the next level. So they're doing a lot of innovation, and this patent filing is a good thing because it ensures that if any one of them grows big, he's also thinking about monetizing that trademark or intellectual property that he's going to build.
I think I was actually surprised to see the kind of revenue some of these SMEs are doing, and the kind of businesses they have built. These are very, very large revenue numbers, fairly sustainable business models, have been around for 25, 30 years. Passion with which they answered some of the questions, their vision that came out, their understanding of the business models and their, points of view on certain questions when we pushed them back were very, very interesting. And I think that's what kind of, differentiates one entrepreneur from the other. The kind of companies that we've seen this afternoon are really, really right up there. It's very difficult to kind of differentiate one from the other. It's very fine in terms of the differentiation. And I think, if we can give a platform like this to SMEs in this country from a showcase perspective, I think we are on to something really good.
I think from the point of view of the MSME sector, if you look at it, the scope for a company of that nature in India is pretty high. Yes, competition is very stiff. Their margins are under stress, but yet there are companies which can think through clearly, have a proper vision, proper positioning of the product or the service as the case may be, they can do very well. And I think the very important thing is growth without profitability is not a growth at all. So the question is, all these companies should focus on growth with profitability.
When an entrepreneur thinks about a business or an idea, I think there's a lot of negativity and frustration which goes around it. ICICI SME Elite 50 gives an opportunity for him to get some kind of a recognition. The need of the hour for SMEs is to go out, exploit the opportunities which are there in this country, and I think there hasn't been a better time for entrepreneurs to test out their mettle in this in the industry.
Because funds is the major issue where they are unable to compete with the larger players and more international players coming into the market. So that's the need of the hour, funding. I think the jury was quite well informed about especially my line of business because some of their questions were quite pertinent. A platform like this can get you networked through the right people, right? It can give you visibility. These kind of platforms definitely help connect people.
Jury questions were very much valid, no doubt. They asked right from starting growth of our company, basic company, to the transformation as on date.
I think they asked several very relevant questions, including the one about a succession plan, which as an SME I actually don't have one in place at the moment.
So when you talk about ICICI SME, it clearly shows the intent of ICICI Bank to be able to be willing to focus on the SME sector, to be willing to lend to the SME sector. So I think more than anything else, SMEs as a beast needs to learn to transform. And that's what is the need of the hour more than anything else.
After a high-intensity jury round in Delhi, the SME Elite 50 concluded in Maximum City, Mumbai. And the SMEs that presented were representative of its rich multi-dimensional economy.
Lot of success stories, people have growth attitude, people have determination, people have energy, people have focus, and they are doing good and they are making it better. This platform gives them recognitions. What we found is that their focus on customer, their focus on quality, their focus on trust made them click, made them grow. To bring more professionalism, to bring more stakeholder in the company, to have more people who can help them in grow to the next level, I think they have to bring the infrastructures and more compliance and regulated oriented environment that will make them mature and grow, which will give them more mileage to attract more talent, more visibility in the market, in the customer place, in the industry, that will help them grow better.
You hear a lot in the media about companies not performing well, sectors not doing well, but today you don't get that feel. I mean, if you look at the SMEs which have come today, many of them have done really well. They've all achieved success in their own segments which they're operating in. But the next level, I think they need to have a big idea, and today they are all monoline businesses. Most of them are monoline. We have few multi-product companies, but most of them are monoline. So most of them are probably second generation, third generation as well. We've seen a mix of them. So you need infusion of professional management, and the ones we have seen today, particularly in Mumbai, if you compare them with the rest of the ones in other cities, they are very financially strong. In terms of scale, they are very large. Many of them are market leaders in what they're doing. So they're already there. I mean, there are mid corporates. They are not really small corporates. It's very encouraging to see that the India growth story is intact.
I think when you read a lot in the media today, you find companies which are shutting down or are only looking at a valuation game. But today it was very humbling to see entrepreneurs who worked for nearly a decade or so and created real businesses, real value. There were entrepreneurs ranging from 25 years to 60 years. All of them shared a lot of passion, strong business fundamentals, and the sectors were equally inspiring for me because they came from agri, from manufacturing. And I think when India is shown in this light, we really see the true progress that is happening across the country. I think one of the key shortcomings that came about was also some degree of risk aversion and inability to really raise funds beyond the regular bank loans. I think just the way that their access to capital, I think, can be improved as an institution, and just as a country we need to think about what are the platforms we are creating for them, because the entrepreneurs that came to light today are dealing in very different sectors. Like I mentioned, pesticide companies, agriculture, copper tubing, pipes, different kinds of sectors, and I don't think they deserve or get the attention they deserve. They have a lot of grit, a lot of determination. Maybe they are very articulate in their day-to-day work, but these kind of platforms really provide them the exposure to interact, to meet different kinds of people, and the spirit they come with, I think, is really refreshing. I don't think that other media really give attention to these kind of entrepreneurial stories in our country, so I found this storytelling very compelling.
Most of the micro, small and medium enterprises, the entrepreneurs work in the business. Actually, the need of the hour is they should work on the business. So they should come out of the business, let it be managed more professionally, and they should look into the business as somebody who's an investor or who's an outsider to the business.
The most important thing is that how we built our business in such kind of a stable and sustainable business model that we avoid all kind of challenges. Like the way we have done in our company is that completely 5-stage backward forward integrated, the kind of a sustainability model. Our company is completely healthy in terms of the financials, in terms of all these environment issues, and this kind of a service definitely gives a very big boost to the these local industries here.
Retail is a place where it's a lot working capital intensive. So as funds sometimes, specifically banking with the current need of the hour, becomes sometimes an issue unless you have a strong promoter driven company. Sometimes it's good to be recognized by the leaders, specifically in the financial driven sector. About it gives a sort of the outside fraternity also comes to know more about the brand, and it's more I would say a brand recognition which gets elevated.
The ICICI SME Elite 50 evaluation is very appropriate, very precise, and I think it pours a lot of enthusiasm in the candidates who are selected.
Nilicon Food Dyes and Chemical Limited, I am the managing director. We manufacture food colors, drug and cosmetic colors. It definitely enhances our ability and capability and it is a prestigious award, so that is definitely it gives a very good impression all over the world.
In a country where there's a population in excess of 1.2 billion, the biggest challenge is visibility, and this is what has been offered. You're trying to work in the right direction, recognizing the right talent, which I really appreciate. It deep down it motivates us to perform better, excel, and be more recognized. One of the major challenges is the ease of doing business in India. There's a lot of convincing that we need to do with particularly our company when we deal with European and American companies, that why India? How can you trust India with such a prestigious supply agreement or orders? So there's a lot of convincing and time goes into it. But then again, whenever it happens, all the SMEs in India are very highly entrepreneurial, and they find a way out of any problem. So they managed to do it successfully, and I'm sure in the future they would maintain to do it.
After a 10-city tour that travelled through urban and rural India, Season 1 of SME Elite 50, brought to you by ICICI Bank Business Banking, came to a close. And here are the winners that walked away with the coveted title of SME Elite 50. From the Chennai jury round, the following companies ultimately rose to the challenge and were recognized as an ICICI Bank SME Elite 50. Food processing company Capricorn Food Products India, dye maker Naga, life science data management company Navitas LLP. After much deliberation amongst the Ahmedabad-based jury, the following companies made the cut and received the prestigious honour of the ICICI Bank SME Elite 50. Auto rickshaw manufacturing company Atul Auto, pigment manufacturer Asahi Songwon Colors, tiles and sanitary ware company Varmora Group, chemical manufacturer Akshar Chem India, pharmaceutical player Swiss Parenterals. From the Hyderabad jury round, the following companies ultimately rose to the challenge and were recognized as an ICICI Bank SME Elite 50. Clean room solutions provider Integrated Clean Room Technologies, machinery condition monitoring products and services provider MVS Acme Technologies, security solutions provider KL High-Tech Secure Print, solar panel manufacturer Premier Solar Systems, security solutions provider Matrix Security and Surveillance. After much deliberation amongst the Jaipur-based jury, the following companies made the cut and received the prestigious honour of ICICI Bank's SME Elite 50. Railway infrastructure solutions provider Shivakriti International, paper manufacturer Bhagwati Kripa Paper Mills, Bollywood producer Dhabria Bollywood, cable maker Prem Cables, transmission tower manufacturing company Man Structurals, software consultancy Nav Back Office IT Solutions, infrastructure development player Consulting Engineers Group, education company Career Point. The Ludhiana-based jury voted the following companies worthy of the exclusive ICICI Bank SME Elite 50 title. Polyester fabric manufacturer Arisudana Industries, automotive player Metalman Auto, manufacturer of bread and bakery products Kitty Industries, manufacturer and exporter of quality engineering goods Kumar Exports, auto parts player Marshall Industries. From the Bengaluru jury round, the following companies ultimately rose to the challenge and were recognized as an ICICI Bank SME Elite 50. Metal supplier Kanunga Extrusions, machine component maker Saab Engineering, plant extract and essential oils provider Vidya Herb, voice infrastructure service provider VIS Networks. After much deliberation amongst the Kolkata-based jury, the following companies made the cut and received the prestigious honour of ICICI Bank's SME Elite 50. Pioneer in PVC and PE pipes, Adventech Polymers, processing equipment for quarries, mines and recycling operations, CDE Asia. From the Pune jury round, the following companies ultimately rose to the challenge and were recognized as an ICICI Bank SME Elite 50. Precision component manufacturer CA Numero Nirman. Turnkey solutions provider for the process industry Texol Engineering. Test equipment manufacturing Sarge Test Plant. Engineering services provider Design Tech Systems. Chemical maker Clean Science and Technology. Manufacturer of proprietary engineered products Enpro Industries. The Delhi-based jury voted the following companies worthy of the elusive ICICI Bank SME Elite 50 title. Beverage distributor Indo Spirit Group. Liquor manufacturer Alco Brew Distilleries India. Travel and tourism company Trans India Holidays. Producer of security holograms Holistic India. Manufacturer of home lightings and home furnishing articles Neocraft Global. Security and surveillance industry solutions provider Vantage Integrated Security Solutions. After much deliberation amongst the Mumbai-based jury, the following companies made the cut and received the prestigious honor of ICICI Bank's SME Elite 50. Woven polymer-based products maker MB Industries. Chemical manufacturer and trader Shri Pushkar Chemicals and Fertilizers. Pharmaceutical ingredients provider Blue Circle Organics. Supplier of industrial pipes and tubes Mehta Tubes. Casual wear brand Spiker Lifestyles. Dye and pigment maker Neelicon Food Dyes and Chemicals. The winners of the coveted SME Elite 50 title were the small and medium enterprises across India that demonstrated the strategy, perseverance and determination to succeed. Backed by impressive management teams and robust business plans, the winners of the ICICI Bank SME Elite 50 are exemplary icons of Indian entrepreneurship at its finest.
For us, SME is an important segment. For India, SME is an important segment and they're growing fast. And I have over the years picked up 4 themes which principally sort of dominate in SME's mind as far as challenges are concerned. The first revolves around people. How can I get talent? How can I retain talent? The second actually revolves around what I broadly club under different kinds of business problems. What is the choice of technology? What is the choice of strategy? How do I remain competitive? You know, it's an ever-changing world. How do I get market access? How do I get newer customers onto my fold? How do I ensure that I have the right processes? There's an ever-changing compliance structure that I have to live on, you know, the taxation, the changes in GST and so on and so forth. How do I keep myself abreast with these changes? So broadly, these are the second bucket of challenges, which I call the business-related challenge. The third is somewhere in the domain of infrastructure and policy. There is a lot of effort that is being done by the current government to modernize infrastructure, to modernize the policy framework as well and simplify things for SME. You know, to give you an example, 2 of the cutting edge locations where I find infrastructure and policy very modern, I think one is China and the other is Germany. And you see SMEs thriving and doing extremely well there. I think India is getting there. We still have a way to go, but still there's a journey to cover. So better and more modern and more efficient the infrastructure and policy network, the more facilitative the environment for the SME. So the third revolves around that. And finally, it is access to capital. That's been one of the big challenges that the SMEs have been facing over the years. Probably we are at a cusp of a time when going forward, challenges for SME with reference to access to capital could just be, in times to come, a thing of past.
After travelling the length and breadth of the country to identify India's most promising small and medium enterprises, the inaugural session of ICICI Bank SME Elite 50 came to a close. Realizing that each customer's needs are specific, ICICI Bank prides itself on its commitment to catering to the specific needs of our country's leading SMEs in an effort to empower them and change their destiny. And in the process, ICICI Bank is taking one small step towards ultimately transforming SMEs into larger corporations that are rewriting India's growth story. As per the new tri-tariff order, you now have the power to choose and pay only for the channels you love. To keep watching your favorite shows on ET Now, call your cable or DTH operator and get the Times movies and news pack now.
The showstoppers, the jaw droppers, the movers and shakers.
These are some of the hard facts.
The power players. All the blockbusters. All the hard hitters in one power punch.
That's awesome.
Complete your TV viewing experience with the best of Hollywood entertainment and news. Get the Times movies and news pack at just 13 rupees. Ask your cable or DTH provider now.
Partnered by Times Influence.